Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I am sitting today in my garage in my house, and we're going to do some work on the Nissan 350Z. We've got a few different things we want to do on it. First thing I want to cover is the rear speakers don't work. Tried changing the head unit and thinking that might have been it. Yeah, it's not it. Ordered some new speakers from eBay, and I just went ahead and got 4 of them. So we've got a couple of 6.5 inches speakers is what it takes, front and rear. We're going to change the door speakers out as well. And while we're in that door, we've got still a problem with the outside door handle. When I open the door, you can release it from inside the car, but the outside, it just works like it's not even connected. Common problem with the 350Zs. I'm on my 3rd door handle on the driver's side, and this will be the 2nd one for the passenger side. So while we have the door open to do that, we're going to go ahead and knock out that new speaker in there too. And we're going to do a decibel reading on the stereo right now, crank it up all the way, see where it goes to, and then we will do the exact same song, exact same volume level, radio setting, and see what the decibel level changes to afterwards when we add 2 more speakers. Okay, so I put a new head unit in the car a little while ago. It's a I don't know, MP 1162. I'm going to play a song, and I can't play it long on here because, well, we don't want to have copyright problems, but I'm going to check on my decibel meter here and see it says I'm at 72 decibels. We're going to see what the song reads at, and knowing we only have a front left and front right speaker, and so let's see what we got here. Okay, so it looks like we're getting a reading of about 81 decibels, which is not super loud, right, for a car stereo. And I think it's only because we only have the front speakers. So we have set up over here. We've got the driver's side. We have the assistant side. This is how we, control where the audio comes out of. But when we go to the rear speaker here, there's nothing on that side either. So we only have currently working front speakers. All right, so we're specifically talking about the convertible here because I know it's a little bit different than the coupe, and I guess I need to vacuum behind my seats a little more often, but the speakers are back here. All right, if the car had the subwoofer package, the subwoofer would be right in that spot there. It's got like a glove box over there, cigarette lighter, and then there's 2 little panels. So this panel's got to come out. It looks like this panel is tied in by this panel here, and it's also tied in by this panel. This panel looks like it's tied in by these 2 roll bar hoops. So I think what I'm going to start by doing is taking the roll bar hoops out and then seeing if I can loosen the top of that, and then we're going to go ahead and pull out this. You can also see here this panel is tied in by the side panel here, so it looks like we'll have to remove the side panel, which of course tucks underneath the door sill panel. So we're going to start by taking door sills off, side panels off. We're going to get the hoops off. We're going to get this area out of here out, and then that should make that other piece accessible to pop out, and we should find the 2 speakers directly behind the speaker grills. Alright, so we're going with the Audio Bank AB630. It's a 6.5 inch 4-way car coaxial speaker. They do come with covers. Of course, we won't need that because we've got factory grills that go over top of it. Alright, so that's it. Good looking little unit. You can see the difference in the magnetic size. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do is the speakers came with a wire. The wire is white wire, and one side's got a black tracer on it. Black tracer means it's got a little black stripe that runs up it, makes it easy to trace the wire. The wires we're cutting out of here is, let's see, I got a gray plane and a red tracer. Typically in your car stereo installations, the tracer wire is going to be the wire that is your positive on the back of the speaker. So all we're going to do, we're using different color wire here, not a problem. We're just going to take the tracer wire here, connected the tracer wire here, plain wire to plain wire, and then we hook to the back of the speaker. We just put the tracer wire, no matter what the color is, on the back of the positive, and we've kept polarity. Okay, unlike the factory speaker, this magnet's picking up everything it gets close to. Just had to pull all my tools and my mounting hardware off of there, so I'm going to put you there on the side of the toolbox for a minute so you're out of the way. Get back to my wiring. All right, they'll only go on one way here. Positive to positive, negative to negative. Now just put that back up in the hole and put some bolts in. All right, same bolting holes that were there before. Put the speaker in there. I learned this the hard way. When you're 16 years old and you're working on your very first car and you're putting a set of Pioneer 6x9s in, because if you weren't rocking the Pioneers with blow punks, it really wasn't a stereo at that point. Some people had Sonys, but we talked about them funny. When you're running the bolts in to mount it, take your time, be patient, pay attention to what you're doing, because when that screwdriver slips off and goes through the cone, yeah, the sound's just never the same anymore after that. So I learned that lesson the hard way. So you just take your time when you're putting them in and don't rush it. It's been a day so far, guys. It's been a day. So, you know, I'm in the construction business. I have a tape measure with me 99% of the time, and I keep losing them. I don't know where they go. Like, do I leave them behind or whatever? Apparently, I'm putting them on the floor of the Nissan when I drive, forgetting about them. So those are all, yeah. So then the next thing is, I'm like, I don't want to listen to the stereo because now I vacuumed it and put the seats back and everything. I don't want to hear. I can't find the keys anywhere. I'm looking through here, they're through here, down in through where the top goes. Every drawer of the toolbox. I mean, I'm looking. Pulled seats forward, back, everywhere else. I don't know. Ever since I vacuumed, I can't find them. Wait. Ever since I vacuumed, I can't find them. Yep, there they are. Mystery solved. All right, haven't done a whole lot under the hood here. Put cold air intake in, and that's about it. So next, I think I'd like to do an exhaust on it, but the car is clean. I mean, it's super clean. It's only got 80,000 miles on it, and you know, for its age, that's not too bad. But it does have a wild alternator belt squeak. So I'm gonna get underneath the car because I believe that's where the adjustment is. Alternators, I think, way down there. The problem with these guys is they sit really low to the ground. So a guy like me can't slide under there too easy. So even on the ramps here, I'm not sure it's gonna be the easiest thing to do. All right, so to do anything under here, I'm gonna get the skid plate off. See how it's dented right here? Yeah, hit a deer with this car. Went right slam over him. Yeah, van in front of us mowed him down. We had nowhere to go. Hit him. I just punched it and tried to get the front end to come up a little bit and worked just enough. You roll over him. We did no damage to the car other than where the oil filter screws on. It bent, and so it would leak oil just slowly. So we had to change the adapter that the oil filter attaches to. They gotta get me one of those rechargeable ratchets. I think I'm the only guy left on YouTube that doesn't have one. There's two belts on the car. The one over here that's driving the power steering and the alternator is on this side. And then there's another belt over here that drives the air conditioning. Each one of them has its own tensioner. The one that we're interested in is right down here. Okay. And it's got a 14 millimeter nut on the end of that. So what we want to do is we just want to loosen this off here. So what we've got is we've got our tensioner right up here. On the bottom of the tensioner, there's this little bolt, and I honestly can't see my phone, so I don't even know if you can see what I'm pointing to. But that little bolt is what rides that tensioner up and down. So I'm gonna put a ratchet on there. And I apologize for the camera work, but I can't even see what I'm looking at here. When you tighten this, you're actually tightening the bolt. When you loosen it, you're loosening it. And that's putting some pressure on it there. So I'm gonna go up top and see how that is for tension. Okay, yeah, I gotta apologize for that video. I'm sorry about that. I just couldn't see what I was doing down there. I've got the shield. Oh, look, now I cut my hands off. Didn't even notice that. Got the shield hanging down. I'm underneath the car. It's on ramps. I'm having a hard time getting a light position down there in the camera. It's all I can see to actually do the repair, let alone get it filmed too. But there's a bolt that's up to the bottom of that tensioner wheel. When you loosen off the wheel, that bolt will allow you to tension that pulley up and down. So what I'm doing is I'm tightening it, which is pulling more pressure on that belt. And then when I got the belt to the right tension, I'm gonna, strap it down. So what happens is I changed the belts on this, I don't know, maybe 20,000 miles ago, and they've stretched. So it doesn't have a tensioner that holds like a spring tension that you put a socket on and you can pull the tension back like a lot of cars have. It doesn't have that. You have to self-tension this thing. So it needs adjustment. The belts are wearing, they're stretched a little bit. We just got to adjust it. No big deal. So there are specs on, you grab the belt at a certain spot. They want you to twist it. They want you to put a little special tool on it. It tells you how much deflection it should have and things like that. I don't have that tool. I'm not that technical. So all I know is that when I turn it on, the alternator belt is squealing until it warms up and there's not as much draw on the alternator. So let's go ahead and tighten it down a little bit. We're going to start it up. I'll tighten that 14 millimeter on the end of the pulley again. That's important to do that before you start it. So I'll get that tightened down, start it up, see if it squeals at us. All right, we got it tightened down. Let's turn it on and see what we get. No squeal, like that. No squeal at all. I like that. All right, this was corroded bad. So I thought I'll just take it up, clean it up real quick, and I broke that. So, ran up to O'Reilly and they had something like this. So I'm gonna put that on there real quick. The old nut fits on it. So I just gotta get that on there. And that should be repaired. And then I think I'm ready to pull it out. All right, that little original plastic piece here that sits over the terminal actually fits on there like it's a factory part. But this quite go on the battery terminal. It's a little too tight, so I'm going to put a screwdriver in here and just pry that open so I can get it to fit down on here. It's just a little tight. I'm going to hammer it on there. All right, so one more thing we want to do. Yikes! That's right. Got a big rip in the roof there, and we got another one that started on this side here. So this is a replacement roof. The factory roof ripped the exact same space. And so put a new roof on it, lasted 3 months, ripped the same place. Where are all the little spots? Pine sap. Yeah, that's right. Live in North Carolina in the Sand Hills where we have pine sap that drips on your cars and it'll literally etch your paint if you don't get it off. We're going to use some Flex Seal, some fiberglass mesh tape, a bit of masking tape. We got some zip system tape here, and I'm going to use some like a felt cloth that I've got. We're going to try to come up with a way to fix this. I don't want to buy another roof if it's going to rip in the exact same space, and I basically only use this car when it's nice enough to drive with the roof down. But the problem is, all the patches I've seen online suggest, oh, use some kind of Gorilla Tape or duct tape, or put duct tape on the top and on the inside, or this stitch it, all different sorts of things we've seen, different solutions. And the problem is, it'll hold it like this. If I put the zip tape on here right now, a big band of it across here, that'll hold it. It'll keep the water out, it'll stay on there. It'll last a pretty long time. Problem is, the first time you use the roof and it folds up into the back here, this bunches up and the tape pops off. So it's not a very good repair. So I need something on here that's going to stay very, very flexible so that when it bunches up, it doesn't pop itself off. So I've got an idea. Let's see how it works. All right, so I came up with an idea of what I think might work, and I'm not sure that it will, but this is how we figure things out. We try them. So I've been playing around a little bit at the house with some old t-shirts, and what I did is I took a piece of the fiberglass mesh tape and I put it over it like that, a rip on the shirt, okay? Covered over the, so that there's material on both sides of it, the fiberglass. And then what I did is I sprayed it with the ever famous Flex Seal black, okay? And what it does is it goes right through the mesh. Now Flex Seal makes a tape. The tape is similar to this tape, except that it's solid. So what happens is that you put the tape over it, and then you're flex sealing the edges of the tape, but the seal between the tape and the vinyl is what breaks free when you open it up. So my thought is the flex seal will go through each of the holes in the mesh and make an individual little bonding spot to that. Now when it's dry, it's very flexible. I put it on a cotton t-shirt, put a rip in it, put some of this on there, been doing it the last couple of days playing with it, and it actually flexes really, really well, it holds really, really well. So that's the start of my idea. I'm going to wrap it around the edge here, but keep it on the seam on the back here, and come to there like this. This is, you know, pre-adhesive, but it doesn't stick very well. So then we'll spray it with that. Now, the flex seal will go through the seam. So my thought is, I don't want to get it onto the inside of the car, but I also don't want it to stick to the little, you know, bar that goes around that holds the top up and gives it shape. Because if it sticks to that, as the top lifts off of here, it'll be stuck to the pipe and stuck to the roof. As the roof tries to separate so the bars can fold down and then the roof can go down on top of it, it's just going to rip up my seal. It's going to rip up the repair and make it a weak spot. So what I want to do is I want to put some of this felt underneath. Again, very, very flexible, very absorptive. It's actually a felt that we use in a waterproofing system for showers. You put it in the corner and then you put the waterproofing membrane on here, a roll-on membrane or a brush-on membrane, and it helps give the corner strength. So I want to lay a piece of this on the inside so that my flex seal can absorb through the fiber tape, through the crack and into this, and have something to stick to on the other side. Now, it'll go right through that and again, stick to the pipe. So my idea there was to use a piece of this tape here and just lay it over the pipe, let everything stick to this surface, which is glossy and nothing's going to really stick to it well. And then when I'm done, I can, and it's sat for, you know, 48 hours and really cured out, I can open the roof, gently pull this off the back of the flex seal. We should be good to go. When this is all done, the seal, the flex seal will be black like this, and you can see the top's more like a charcoaly gray. It's really going to stand out. So my idea is when we're done with all of this, I'm going to tape off the window, I'm going to open the roof, put plastic around here, I'll put plastic over the doors, I'll open the roof in the front, I'll put plastic over the windshield, I'll close it up so the only thing exposed is the roof, and we're going to paint it with fabric paint. That'll make all of it one color. It'll cover over the sap. What do I have to lose? That's the game plan. Will it work? I'm giving it out of a scale of 10, 10 being a perfect repair and 0 being, well, what we got now. I'm going to give it a 5.2. Okay, I'm going to tape up and cloth both sides at the same time because I don't want to come back and open the roof again once I've done this side here. See how it spreads out like that? Then puckers. Everybody wants to use Gorilla Tape, use duct tape. Yeah, it doesn't hold. Okay, what I did, put it on the floor of the warehouse and got a little dust on it. Makes it a lot less sticky because it's really trying to grab too hard here. Not letting me get what I want done here. I'm going to come in from behind, get over top of that strap. There's a part of the cloth top is the strap I'm talking about. And my thought for this was just to a little bit of gauze, just so that flex seal has something to stick to on the inside of the roof. Never done a repair like this before. Well, like I say, tried everything else on the internet, and well, it just didn't work. When you tried everything else that you can find and it doesn't work, you make your own solution. And if it works well, then I'm sure other people will try it. If it doesn't work well, then I've saved you from wondering. You guys ever worked with zip tape before? It's very, very good. So you can see this side here, the split is quite a bit bigger. The most annoying thing about this car, and if anybody's got a solution, tell me what it is. Every time you start the car, close the door, the window, auto up. Only on the driver's side, not the passenger side. Could be the dumbest thing Nissan's ever done. You want to get it on there too thick, because it will run. And I tell you what, it looks like it's making an absolute mess right now. But again, I got to tell you, I've got nothing to lose because, well, the top's already ruined. Blend it in now. So I'm going to let this sit overnight. Tomorrow morning I'll come in and I'm going to hit this again. I'll hit the other side. I'll bring you along when I do it. And then it's just going to sit. And it's going to dry for a couple of days. And you guys remember back in the day, maybe your dad wore them, your grandfather or whatever. Maybe you wore them. I don't know. I don't think I ever wore them. Back in the day, the tweed jackets with the patches on the elbows. That's what I feel like I'm making here. A tweed jacket with a patch on the elbow. They didn't look good then. It doesn't look great now. But maybe that style comes back around. I don't know. Maybe that's what I should have done is put a tweed top on it with some patches on the corner. That'd be kind of cute. Okay, after quite a few applications, this is what we've got. It seems very, very tough. There's no soft spots in it or anything else. So if I come over to the other side of the car here, now I went ahead and sprayed, you can see here, this corner of the car with vinyl and fabric duplicolor. And so what I want to do is this patch here, dry it awfully dark, black, and shiny. It seems very, very tough. So the next test, of course, will be opening the roof. And I'm going to do that to pop the back up here. I want to put plastic sheets under here. And I'm going to pop the front here and tape this off here. I want to paint the whole roof. I'm going to get rid of the chunks of pine sap. But this white stuff just will not come out of the roof. When you paint it, instead of it being white, now it's shiny spots, and I think that's because it's the first coat. So I'm going to let this dry really well and soak into that, and I think it'll seal it. Kind of like when you're primering walls, wherever the sheetrock mud was, it dries at a different speed, so it has a different texture to it. So right now, they do look like darker spots. I think second coat of that will help fix that a lot. And you can see that the darkness of this is starting to come out and blend better with this. On this side over here, the whole corner looks a little bit darker. Then over here with just the patch looks darker. So just trying different techniques. I don't know what's going to work in the final end. I don't know if this is going to work in the end, but I'm just trying some different things here. I started applying the Flex Seal, I think it's been 6 days ago now. So I feel like I've been putting it on and just being very careful to let it dry inside, slow. I haven't tried to open the roof yet. So this is where it puckers when you open the roof. And I don't know if it's the puckering when it opens or the stretching when it closes over that beam. I don't know what it is that causes the tear. We're gonna find out. I just didn't want to rush it. I've got plenty of time on this. Well, right off you can see the 3 foot away view looks so much better. There's still some shiny spots in there, but that second coat on there, we're gonna let that dry. It might take a third coat. I did get the matte, so it should dry to a matte finish, but you can, I think, pretty clearly see the difference in the roof there. We're gonna see if Flex Seal can be used as a vinyl roof repair. Liquid rubber sealant coating. All purpose. It says all purpose, so you know when it says all purpose, this is a purpose. You can see where the pucker was from the original fabric there, but that is, I've got that coated pretty heavy in the under seal. You can see my finger there, and it's in the under seal. There's enough flexibility there you really don't see my finger going past it. So it's thick there, and but it's been probably 7 or 8 coats. Not all just heaped on at once. I've let it, and as every coat, I would come out a little bit further and a little bit further until I got kind of a larger patch area. I'm hoping that grabs more of the surface area of the vinyl and helps to hold it together. All right, it's been a couple hours. Looking at it outside, you can really see those pine sap areas. But look over there. Not so bad, right? Not so bad. You can see the dark spot where the repair was. The blacks are starting to blend in, right? It's not that sharp difference in the black there and the sheen. So the sheen's starting to blend in. It's getting the same similar sheen all the way across. Looking a lot better. Still got some little, you know, you can see them. Pine sap, but really hard to get that out of there. So you can see here, it's looking pretty good. Over here, where we've only done 1 coat, it looks much more porous. So I think, and here's one coat on these, and then here's a few coats on these. They start to go away a little bit more every time, every coat. All right, so we need to pop the roof up so we can get some plastic underneath here, and same thing under the front windshield. When you first pop the roof, it comes here, and this comes up as this goes back. So it's kind of a folding action here. That's when this thing really wants to pucker. I think if we can make it past that stage, it's gonna open and close just fine after that. But I don't know. So I'm gonna jump in the car here, and I guess we're gonna find out together if this thing works or not. Releasing the hatch. Open. What? What? That's usually where it's the worst. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to lay some plastic in here, and then we're just going to close it back down again to seal this off and get all the dirt out of here and all that, so it's not in our paint. Let's do that real quick. Alright, so what we've done is we've got this mashed off pretty nicely here. We'll finish putting tape on this side of the window. And you can see here we got the front of it mashed off very nicely too. We can pull that back, give that a good spray of paint, and if we get any on the glass here, we'll just use a little paint thinner and get that off of there. So let's start layering in some layers of paint on this. I'll get this side caught up to this side, and then we'll start doing the whole thing. Easiest way to tape this off was the blue painter's tape. And we just come a little bit further than we need to, and then you just take your fingernail to cut through. And that is a pretty nicely mashed off window, I would say. Now remember, the products I'm using never said that they were intended for this purpose. I'll be first to say that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to do something creative, because, well, when I bought this new top a few years ago, a couple of years ago, it was about 600 bucks. This is a lot cheaper. All right, guys, proof's in the pudding. So, did the repair, I've painted it, and roof's been up and down a few times, getting the plastic in there, and that, you saw some of that. I took the plastic out, so it's been open and closed a couple more times, and well, looks like we have a repair. So the roof looks a lot better. It's almost one shade of black yet. It's still a little splotchy. The paint's still drying, so I might give that one more coat. But here's where the big rip was, and you saw that at the beginning of the video. I could literally get my whole hand down in there up to my elbow. It was quite bad. So is it perfect? No, it's not. Is it watertight? Yeah, it certainly is. Does it look better? Yes, it does. Was it cheaper? Yes, it was. So what do we use? Well, we use some fiberglass mesh tape. We use some vinyl and fabric specialty coating by Duplicolor, and we use Flex Seal, a liquid rubber sealant coating. None of these products say on their cans or on their packages that they are suitable for the repair of vinyl roofs. It's not a claim they make, but you saw it here. We did it. We fixed the roof on this Nissan. Now, it's been up and down 4 or 5 times. We've got no tears, we've got no puckering, we've got no separation yet. So I don't know that it's a permanent repair. I don't know. I'll check back in with you in a few more months and let you know how it's doing. We're about to enter the summer season here. So let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me if you want to try it. Got any questions for me? Shoot, I'll tell you. There's a couple things I might have done a little differently. I've got to make a cabinet before tonight's over, because that goes in tomorrow morning. And then Tuesday morning, it's 3:30 a.m., I'm taking this car with its new roof 700 miles to Indiana. We're going to rescue a old Chrysler out of a barn. It's got a 440 in it. We're going to try to rescue that car out of a building on Tuesday night. I'm going to whip home again on Wednesday. So if you like that kind of content, give me a click on the notification bell there. I don't want you to miss it. Thank you for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe. If you got any other ideas of what I could do with the liquid rubber membrane, link them down below. I'm happy to try anything. So I love working on new projects. I love trying things, and I think that roof looks a lot better. Is it 100%? Nope. Is it perfect? And nope, it's certainly not. Still got some spots in it, and they look worse on camera than in person. I will tell you that. The products we used, the results we got. New top, about $780. Installation, $600, $700, $800. You can find a guy that's going to do it for you. There's not as many around as there used to be. That, 50 bucks. We're not sponsored by anybody. $50 is what I spent on those products. 2 cans of paint, 1 can of the sealer. I did the whole thing with 1 can, and 1 roll of fiberglass tape, which will live to help out on another project one more time. Oh, and a little acetone down there, just cleaning up any splatters. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you.